I've been using the OnePlus Pad 3 for the last 2 months now, and to be honest, I am completely blown away. This is probably the most premium feeling Android product that I've used to date. It's got a fantastic high-resolution 13-inch screen. It has incredible battery life, so much so it almost comes as a shock when I need to actually charge it. And the price. You can get the tablet, the keyboard with trackpad, and the stylus, all for about what I paid for my own iPad Air by itself. I knew Android tablets were often cheaper than iPads, especially budget and mid-range ones, but what I had never realized was that they were anywhere near this good. The build quality on the Pad 3 is unbelievable. In some ways, I actually prefer it to my iPad. The whole thing feels amazing and performs incredibly well. If I didn't know the price, I would think this was a high-end tablet at about the £1,000 mark. This is flagship performance on a mid-range budget, which is pretty incredible, really. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Carl. I'm not some trendy tech YouTuber. I'm a very busy dad of young kids with a full-time job. I love tech, but I'm not that interested in the numbers or the tech specs. I'm interested in how it would actually slot into your life and the features you're going to actually use day to day. The first thing you notice about the OnePlus Pad 3 in day-to-day use is that it uses face detect to unlock it. Now, most tablets like this use a fingerprint scanner, and there does seem to be a bit of debate back and forth online as to which is the more convenient. For me, I've been very happy with Face Unlock. Most of the time, it just feels like the tablet is unlocked and ready to go whenever I need it. Fingerprint scanners never actually work that well for me. I don't know whether it's dry skin or what it is, but the one on the power button for my iPad, for example, just doesn't work. I nearly always have to enter the PIN. The whole tablet feels very quick and snappy. Oxygen OS is one of my favorites I've used so far. Everything feels neat and polished as it should be, and it's all very responsive. You get this little dock area on the right, which I found very useful as well. It's basically a quick access area where you can save apps that you want access to while you might be doing something else. So let's say I'm writing on the tablet. I can quickly swipe to open this and tap my calculator to do some quick sums, or Apple Music. So let's do both of them. They then float over the top and I can use them in a small floating window. But then when I'm done with them, I can either close them or I can swipe them away to the side again, where they just nestle neatly over to the side until I next need them. And if I just have one of them open, I can swap between them by tapping on the side. It's really nice. One of my favorite UI touches I've ever seen on a tablet. For more serious multitasking, OnePlus have a really simple tool called Open Canvas, and it works really well. It's basically an extension of split screen where it lets you add a third screen into the mix as well, and it then tucks one of the apps over to the side, and you just tap on that side of the screen to scroll over to it, or use 4 fingers and pinch to see all of them at the same time. You can also save these groups of 3 just like you can with regular Android split screens. Perhaps the feature of the OnePlus that definitely surprised me the most is that they have an app called OneConnect, which apparently lets you link this with a Mac or an iPhone to transfer files, share your screen, even control your Mac with it. Unfortunately though, I just could not get them to work. I'm probably missing something, but I just can't get them to see each other. I mean, it is probably the area of the tablet that I am most disappointed by. Can I also take a moment to talk about this keyboard case? It is fantastic. It's exactly the design that I like for a tablet keyboard case because it's 2 separate pieces. There's obviously the keyboard part, and it's a good keyboard, surprisingly nice to type on, and a trackpad as well, which is a decent size and not too fiddly to use. It has a few extra tricks up its sleeve as well, like a function row, an AI button for quick access to Gemini, and an NFC tag to connect a OnePlus phone quickly if you have one. It's a pretty great keyboard, really. My only criticism comes when you actually use it on your lap. Firstly, it wobbles side to side quite a bit, but the real problem is that it can actually activate the trackpad if you lean your palms on one side. As it bends, it clicks the trackpad in. You do get the hang of how to hold it so that that doesn't happen, and I have used it to type on my lap lots over the last few months, but you sort of have to awkwardly
hover a bit. It's fine, but it's definitely better to use on a flat surface, which is a shame as typing on the sofa is exactly where I want to use a lightweight tablet setup like this. But then what I love about it is you can just pull the keyboard off in seconds and use it like a normal tablet, because the keyboard does add quite a bit of weight. And without it, you just get this lovely thin case along the back with a massive and strong kickstand built in. I love this. I love that you can actually feel the tablet as well when the kickstand is out. It's a silly thing, but it reminds you just how good the tablet itself feels rather than only ever touching and interacting with the case. I love that it flattens out that camera bump as well. The one thing I don't like is that it has no way of securing the stylus, so it is constantly falling off.
I have spent so much time looking around this house for this pen, but apart from that, I am a big fan of this case.
Battery life also seemed to be pretty incredible for me when using it day to day. It felt like I barely had to charge it. And I've really been using it a lot. I've been watching shows on it, I've been writing for these videos, even running game emulators on it, not to mention giving it over to the kids for them to watch shows on. And the battery, it just goes and goes and goes. It has a 12,000 milliamp battery, which is pretty huge even for a tablet this size.
OnePlus say they've optimized the battery standby performance so that the amount of battery that this thing loses while it's off and just sat on the side waiting for you to pick it up is minimal. And over the last few months, that does seem to have been the case.
Okay, time to talk about watching content, one of the most important areas for any tablet. After all, most people just use these for watching Netflix in bed, let's be honest, and there's nothing wrong with that. And although the Pad 3 is absolutely fantastic for it, I'd say this is the biggest area where you notice the difference between this and stepping up to higher end tablets like the Samsung Tab S11 Ultra, for example. Which is pretty incredible considering that this tablet costs about half the amount of that one. And also, it's only one specific area where you notice that difference. Because overall, this is still a fantastic screen. It's nice and bright, the colours look fantastic, and it is incredibly sharp. In fact, it's got more resolution than the Samsung screen, and yes, you do notice it, especially with small text on screen. The only compromise is that it's an LCD panel and not an OLED one. Now, the time when you notice this is in the dark. In the day or with lights on, it looks fine, as the LCD screen does have fantastic contrast to it. But in the dark, you do see the black bars around your content at times. With the screen brightness on minimum, it's normally okay, but if you raise the brightness at all, the blacks do get much brighter too. And if you look at it side by side with an OLED display like the Samsung S11 Ultra, the difference is obvious.
But I do think it's important to remember the price of this tablet. Adding an OLED panel would have pushed the price way up. And did we really need another tablet on the market at the same kind of level as the S11 Ultra and the iPad Pro? This price level is going to be much more comfortable for most people. And at the end of the day, this is still a really high-end and impressive screen. It's probably a better panel than most people's TVs in their living room, let's be honest.
The speakers are also very impressive. Plenty loud enough, and although I'd always recommend using headphones when you can, these are good enough to watch shows with other people and listen to podcasts and YouTube videos on. For tablet speakers, they sound very good. For digital art, the Pad 3 and the Stylo 2 pen gets mixed reviews from people online, and it's definitely not as good as the Apple Pencil Pro or the Samsung S Pen. So if you are really into digital art and it's one of the main reasons you're interested in a tablet, then maybe you will benefit from going for one of them instead.
But to be honest, if drawing is just something that you do every now and again for a little bit of fun and as a hobby, it's absolutely fine. You can definitely draw with this stylus. I mean, some of the reviews that I saw made out that you just couldn't use it for art at all because it was laggy and all the rest of it. And I'm sorry, but that's just not true.
It might not cut it for really good professional artists, but for average drawers that are just doing it for fun, this is fine. You just miss out on some of the finesse of those other systems. You still get pressure sensitivity. The lag isn't too bad, although it is there. I didn't find it got in the way too much. It's fine to draw with, and the tablet itself is actually exceptional to draw on. The display's big and detailed and sharp, and the colors are fantastic. That high-end Snapdragon 8 Elite processor is easily fast enough to handle big projects and canvases, and with this case on, the back of the tablet is completely flat, so no wobble at all on a hard surface.
I have been so impressed with the OnePlus Pad 3, and I think that's for two reasons. The first is the physical design. The build quality on this just feels so high-end, it's so impressive. I think it feels better than my iPad Air, to be honest, both in terms of the physical build and the operating system. And then the second thing is the price. The amount that you can buy this for is just incredible for how good it is. You know, the only compromise that I think I notice when I go between this and a higher end tablet is that OLED display. And I think for most average people, considering the price savings, that's a compromise that they're going to be willing to make. After all, it is a compromise that I myself did make when I was spending my own money. You know, when I bought my iPad, did I shell out over £1,000 for the all singing, all dancing and incredible iPad Pro? No, I didn't. I saved over £400 and went for the iPad Air instead, even though it had an LCD screen instead of the amazing OLED screen. And I think it is exactly the same situation here. Most people would be willing to trade that for the price saving that you get here, and everything else is basically just as good. For most people, I think the OnePlus Pad 3 is the most well-rounded and all-purpose tablet I have ever used. It's really impressive. But I think that's about all I've got time for today. I've got to go clean the kids' wardrobes. So thank you very much for watching.